What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new content programming on this channel, taking a little bit of a departure from the normal video game and live stream oriented material. I kind of wanted to get into a little bit more of my favorite hobbies and the things that I do away from video gaming, but I know is also going to be relevant to the people who follow me, as well as hopefully some other new followers as well. To kick things off for this first video, I have a very particular item here with me that I want to talk about and do a little bit of a mini review over, and then gradually update that as I go along. And that item that I have with me is the Haley Strategic Thorax plate carrier. But it's not. And I'm going to show you why right now. All right, so the reason that this isn't a real one right off the rip, as you probably have already assumed, it's actually a clone. It's a replica. It's not the real plate carrier. And the reason that I bought this is because A, I really appreciate what Haley Strategic Partners has done with their gear and the goods that they have been making. And I've used several of their items as well as some of my friends, and I still have some of their items. But this particular item for me and in my life, I couldn't really justify spending the amount of money that it would cost for a real thorax for only running some drills, doing some training, and going and doing some LARPing or some airsofting, as cringy as some of you may find that. It's fun, and that's what we're all here for, right? So I bought this one instead at about a third of what it would cost to outfit an actual thorax plate carrier. And without having a real one here, I've done a lot of digging online and a lot of research on the real thorax plate carrier. And from what I can find using stock footage and images online, this carrier is pretty darn close. And it's only made by one company. And that's Pew Tactical, P-E-W Tactical. The only place you're going to find them is, big shocker, AliExpress. Now, I've done a little foray into AliExpress adventures for airsoft and tactical gear, and actually come up with some pretty decent stuff. A lot of it's not something that I would exactly say can be combat tested or is any size, shape, or form suited for those environments. But if you want to do some practicing or you want to do some drills or some training, I think it will more than suffice for the casual or occasional use, as well as milsims, LARPing, airsoft, that kind of thing, which is mostly what this stuff is geared towards. No pun intended. Or intended, if you like that kind of thing. Dad jokes. So to start things off with this carrier is actually, it's really cool. I really like it. It's just all around a cool design for what they're doing with this carrier. And like I said, it has all of the points and the design that the real one has. It's just not made by HSP. It's made overseas. But everything that I can tell about the materials used in it, they're legit materials. It's just not assembled in the US. So all the materials are real. All of the construction, from what I can tell, based strictly off of photos, everything is real. It's all legit, if you will. So some of the key points that I want to hit on this is not only the construction, but also the build quality. The build quality is surprisingly nice for being a Chinese knockoff or a replica for what it is, especially for the money. You can put one of these together as it is sold. Like the real one is, you got to buy the shoulder pads, the plate bags, the cummerbund, whether it's the standard side armor version or what I chose to go with, the chicken straps version. You still have to buy those items all separate. They do not sell them as a complete package. But you can still get one of these for under $200, and you're ready to go. Then you just pick what placard you want. From what I can tell, Every buckle I have, including the Nexus format buckles, all work with this. Some of my other kind of lower quality or random anonymous buckles needed to be sanded a little bit to fit in here, but every other buckle that I've had, it plugs right in unless it's a proprietary, which it is what it is. But the build quality is phenomenal on this. Everything that I've looked at is great. The only nag overall that I would have about it is the sizing. The sizing is not exact to the actual Thorax plate carrier, in that the plate bags seem a little snug for standard SAPI plates. They are a size medium. I did reach out to the manufacturer and spoke with them about the sizing of this and what exactly it is, because the HSP version comes in a medium and large format. This is strictly limited to medium-sized plate bags. The cummerbunds, on the other hand, both are medium and large format. So being a bigger guy and having a bigger chest, I went with the large size cummerbunds based solely off the HSP formatting and sizing, that it fits past what I would need for my chest size. However, upon receiving it, it definitely is not. So that is something to kind of be aware of and look out for if you're interested in picking one of these up, that the sizing on it is not quite exact. And I did have to do a little modifying to it because there's just no way that I was going to comfortably wear this thing. So I did have to do a little modifications to it with the chicken straps and put a little bit of a Velcro extension on the back of those, so I didn't lose any of my webbing real estate around the sides, because it does kind of sit up a little bit high instead of down around like just above your waist, around your stomach area. The features that the real Thorax have, again, as I mentioned earlier, are still here. One of the really cool things about it that I find that they did replicate on this was the D-cord paracord, or the D-sheathed paracord. So you take those nylon strands out of paracord, and then they have woven that up the sides, or stitched it into the sides on the back of the plate bag, just like the real one did. So you get horizontal loops as opposed to strictly MOLLE vertical loops. So lashing for antennas or cable management. I sometimes would carry a rolled up flag. It's actually the one behind me. To a lot of the events or simulations or scenarios that I went to, just for that aesthetics and patriotism, and I could carry Old Glory with me rolled up on the back of my carrier. Now, I've been using a Cry JPC 2.0 for several years now, and I've beat the daylights out of that thing. I'm really looking forward to putting this to the test and seeing what exactly this thing is capable of and what it will actually hold up to. The Velcro is another point that I wanted to hit on this. The Velcro, the hook and loop material that they used on this, is incredibly robust, and it really is kind of a struggle to get it apart, to set the cummerbund on the back flap, and then also in the front, whatever you end up attaching placard-wise. I went ahead and stuck with the family, as it were, and chose the D3 Mini, or D3 Micro placard for the front. That Velcro, it's on there. You really don't have much to worry about with that, as far as, is the Velcro worth it? Is it going to get weird and fuzzy? I don't think so. But then again, how often are you resetting your cummerbund and taking your front placard off? Some of you may, some of you don't. I personally choose not to, because I don't like fiddling with all that stuff and potentially getting it canted or at an angle, or something that's just not comfortable and not the way I had it. So I chose to go with a quick release system here on the side of the plate bag, with this little mod that I picked up right here. And I'll be sure to link all of this extra stuff in the description down below. But what I got right here is I have a quick release Cobra buckle. This was meant for, I believe, the FCPC, the Faro Concepts plate carrier. So it's a little oversized. It's meant for like a 3-inch cummerbund. This is a 2-inch, but it works nonetheless. and this is a super handy thing to have. I have a First Spear Tubes mod on my JPC, so I can just grab that little loop, pull, and it's off. So I kind of like to keep that whole side entry kind of situation with this. The other thing that I really appreciate about it is it does have that versatility of sizing, even though it was a little small for me. I believe that anybody else who is smaller than I am will have zero issues with this. I believe it is a good size. I believe it does have the versatility of sizing like the real one does. So that's not really going to be an issue. A couple of the other cool things is just like the real one, and there's plenty of videos out there that you could watch on the real one, and you're pretty much going to find that lines up, or at least I found lines up with this one. But I wanted to speak specifically on this one for people who may come across it in searches. Now, I looked around a decent bit, couldn't really find much on this, and the only place I could really find to purchase it is on AliExpress. But I think it was completely worth it. I have some events coming up very soon that I will be wearing this at with American Milsim, and later on in the year with the Lion Claw series, that I really want to put this through some testing as well as some local plays at my local field and give it a solid shot and see what happens with it. Overall, I think it's a great carrier. I think it is definitely something that you should look into if you're looking to get a Thorax specifically, or if you just want a great, all well-rounded carrier with a lot of versatility, but you don't necessarily want to break the bank doing it. I understand, as I said, you heard right, I have a Cry JPC, cry or die, right? That doesn't mean that I have everything legit. A lot of the stuff that I have is either going to be a replica or it's fourth or fifth hand even, and that's okay. I'm trying to do this on a budget, and that's kind of the theme with what I'm going to do with this, is show you some really cool stuff. And if you're into aesthetics, and so long as it does the job, but you don't care if it's real or not, cool, then this is going to be right for you. Stay tuned to the channel, hit that subscribe. Also follow my Instagram. You'll get some sneak peeks and some updates there of the kind of items that I have. But I have a lot of content coming in the near future on items like this, soft goods, hard goods, and as well as some AEG or some rifle attachments and parts that I was able to find. And I'll discuss those a little bit more. You might be surprised. Here's a spoiler. They're not half bad. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of this carrier. I will continue to update if there's any further developments with it. But overall, I would rate this at about an 8 out of 10. Definitely give it some consideration and look into it. And until next time, I'll see you then.